This is one of my most requested videos that I've done so far. It's going to be doing a breakdown video of all the costs associated with building a car to this level. So that is exactly what I'll be doing today. I'm going to be going over a price breakdown of my entire build sheet. I have it all labeled here. It's like 5 sections. I categorized all of the costs and stuff like that associated with building this car. And I want to preface before we get into this video, I'm not trying to brag by any means by showing you guys this. I just want this as informational content out there so you guys can understand the costs associated with building a car to this level. It's not as cheap as people think. It's a lot of long hours, especially if you do your own work. And I just want to be completely transparent. Now, I'm very fortunate to be able to afford this car and the modifications that go into it. I'm 23. I know no matter what I say, people are always going to assume that I'm daddy's and mommy's money. That's not the case at all. I have my own big boy job in sales. I've been at the same company for over 3 years now. So I bought this car in February of 2023. This is my second M240. The first one I had the F22 generation. This is the G42. The F22 blew up and I sold that. And then I wanted to step into this after a few other cars in between. Decided to come back to the BMW platform. So without further ado, let's get into, looks like I have, 7 categories here. So I'm going to be going over maintenance that goes into the car, cosmetics, the stock turbo modifications that I did, then the top mount first revisions that I did, top mount second revisions that I did, and then where we're at now with the revisions, as well as wheels, tires, safety, suspension, stuff like that. And I'm not going to be doing these in any order just because I want it to be completely comprehensive. I'd like if you guys watch the entire video so you guys could get a good grasp on everything. But no, not all of the parts I'm going to list are physically on the car. This is just what I've spent. I've sold some of them. Some parts have been sponsored, some parts have been free. So all the listed prices that I have are at the time what it would have cost to just buy outright. Like I said, some of them are discounted, some of them were sponsored. Won't be going in depth to each one and what was which, but just to get those questions out of the way, no, not all the parts I'm about to list are on the car physically. Some of them are disposable, some, you guys get it. So the first category I have is maintenance items. I've done 8 oil changes in 20,000 miles. That might sound a little bit excessive, but so I have 8 OEM oil filters. I just use the OEM ones or the man filters. And then 8 oil change kits with the oil and everything like that, new drain plugs, washers, everything like that. 4 sets of spark plugs. Again, might sound a little excessive, but I rather overdo the maintenance than underdo it. Then I have the Redline 75W80 front and rear differential fluid, drain plugs for all of those. I did the ZF8 transmission pan, just the stock OEM pan, with the Adrenaline SS fluid for the first time around when I did the transmission service. Got 2 gallons of that. Did Hawk ceramic pads front and rear, and then the brake fluid front and rear, obviously. So just in maintenance alone over the past year and a half, $2,040. And let's get into the stock turbo stuff here. So for the stock turbo setup, I had and still have a Black Market Race catch can. I did the oil cap line as well, the billet oil cap. On stock turbo, I had the HKS air filter, Dorch flex fuel sensor, again, spark plugs, downpipe. I did a 5-inch downpipe on that one. The Femto unlock, which was about $1,000. I sent that out myself. The MHD flasher, MHD itself, XHP. I did the exhaust tips from Infinite Auto Works. Those were the 4-inch version, I believe, the larger ones. I did a BMR heat shield, and that wraps up the stock turbo parts, totaling $4,209. And for the wheels and tire suspension I've had on this, so it came with stock wheels. I needed new tires on those when I got them, so I ended up replacing those stock tires with the Continental Extreme Contact Sport 02s, and then I did Dynon wheel spacers. I did 15 millimeters all the way around. I actually still run those today. I ended up going with Eibach lowering springs with the Apex stud and nut conversion. I actually ended up taking those off a few weeks ago and replacing it just with the factory lug bolts. Been through a few sets of tires. I've ran the Toyo Extenza HP2s for when I was wintertime driving on the beadlocks. So I had a set of beadlocks, 826M style beadlocks. I did 18x9 in the front, 17x10 on the rear. I'll put the tire specs up on the screen. Everyone always asks me on Instagram, so there's your tire specs. I did a Nitto NT 555R2s on the rear on those beadlocks as well, and G2s on the front, alignments, and then I ended up getting the Enki RPF1 wheels that I currently have on the car, and those came with tires. They're like Falcon RT 650, something like that. They're just a summer tire. Then moving on from that, we have the BMR differential brace, and I threw this one in here because I didn't really have another spot for it as far as like a safety category just yet. but I do have the BMR fire extinguisher mount. So totaling up all of the wheels, tires, suspension, and safety components, I'm in at $8,174. And we can get into the category that I've actually spent the least amount on so far, which would be the cosmetics. So I don't really have much on the car as far as cosmetics goes, although that is changing pretty soon. I do have the Infinite AutoWorks carbon steering wheel trim with the M1, M2 buttons, which are functional. I actually really did that. That was one of my first mods that I did. I hated the stock trim on the steering wheel. The silver, I didn't like it at all. So now it's carbon, M1, M2 buttons. Like, I think it looks way better. I did the 50th anniversary badges. I don't know if you guys can see those back there. I also had the wheel badges as well. I bought those off my buddy for $100. I did tint on the car, tint all the way around, windshield, sides, and rear. I only drive this car in Mexico, so I don't know if I should say the tint percentage. I don't know if that can get me in trouble. I have 5% on the sides and the rear, and then a 15% on the windshield. It's perfectly fine at night. I can see just fine, for those of you that are concerned. I also did the M-Dash module, which is kind of a cosmetic on the inside. It has the G8X gauge cluster, which I prefer way more than the M-Lite one. I had yellow DRLs on this. I don't have them anymore. I prefer the white look with all the other mods that I have going on right now. Those are for sale if you want them. I'll send them out for $20. I did the Downstar engine bay dress-up kit. That's one of the most game-changing mods I've done. I love those. I get so many questions about them all the time. Shout out Downstar. I've done a bunch of powder coating on this car. I've done the turbo, the engine hoist hook, I guess you could call it, the manifold, as well as the fuel rail, and the engine radiator cover, just off the top of my head. That's currently what I have on the car that's powder coated. I go to a local shop, A&M Powder Coating. I also got my beadlock rings powder coated there. We did a paint match to the car. He did an amazing job on those. It looks so good. I got so many compliments on that. I've been through 2 front lips off eBay. They were like $75 a piece, but I've destroyed both of them, so they're no longer on the car. I did do a full paint correction as well as graphene ceramic coating on this thing, and it has held up amazingly. I did it all myself. It was Adams Polish's graphene ceramic coating that I did in the car, and I just included the price of what the actual ceramic coating cost me. It took me so long to actually get through that and do it all, but I didn't include pads or anything like that in this cost. Just in cosmetic stuff, the category I've spent the least in, I guess the second least in, is $2,111. And I think all that's left is the 3 revisions that I've done on this top mount kit. So the first revision, we went with the Doc Race top mount 6870 next gen from Precision. That Doc Race kit I got on Black Friday last year. So I haven't even had the kit for an entire year, and I've already been through 3 revisions of this setup. But yeah, the Doc Race kit itself, $5,370. Did the turbo blanket, that was $100. Motive reflex, $775. All the sensors and ethanol fittings and max solenoid, turbo additive. I did a Black Market Race relocation kit, so it moved it from up where the hood dump is now to the front of the engine. Relocation kit was like $75 or $80 or something like that. I did a SpeedTech 4-inch black filter for the winter time that I run on the turbo. And then for fueling, I had the DS25 350 pump and the OEM S58 injectors. And then I did a tune with David Shoup, which was $900. And I did a retune with him for when I added the fueling, which was another $200. And then on that first revision, I actually burnt through the wastegate lines that Doc Race had provided, those plastic ones. So I ended up making these custom -3 AN lines. And then I did a new oil drain and flange on the turbo. Mine was leaking. So I ended up switching out so instead of a paper gasket, now it's an O-ring gasket on the turbo flange. And that first initial cost of top mounting this car was very, very expensive and a hard bullet to bite. It was $11,025 to put a top mount on this with all the fueling necessary to run about 650 horsepower. So then naturally, as one does, I got bored with the power. I didn't think that it was enough, and so I started looking at what I could do next. And it's been a rabbit hole ever since, but I'm along for the ride and loving every minute of it. So the second revision that I had of this top mount kit actually started with doing some PCV block off pins. I popped off the valve cover, put those in. Those are from Black Market Race and absolutely essential if you're planning on pushing over 30 pounds of boost with a Venta atmosphere catch can on these Gen 2s. So I ended up adding the BMR CCV block off as well as their PCV pins, and then I added an Evo intake manifold with ID 1050cc injectors. I did a spool plug and play harness the second time around for motive reflex just to clean everything up. Additional fueling that I needed for the port injection, I want to do it the right way the first time. So I ended up making my own Precision Raceworks AFS kit. I pieced together the entire kit for about $1,000 or so. I ended up spending way more than that more recently to add an additional pump. So now I have the Walbro 425 as well as the Walbro 450 only dedicated to my port injection side. So a lot of that was Racetronics 6AN and 8AN lines and fittings that I did. Again, I pieced everything together. I made an entire video on it. But I pretty much made my own fuel system, and I ran the spool fuel pump bracket at the beginning, and then I ended up switching over to the Precision Raceworks dual fuel pump bracket that goes in the tank that attaches to the top hat, which has been super nice, but they kind of screwed me on getting that. I spent $800 on an aluminum bracket because they wouldn't sell it to me otherwise. So then I switched from David Shoop to Racebox, and I've loved every minute of it since. Customer service is top notch. The car's faster than ever. I'm not complaining here. So all of these second revisions, getting the port injection, switching over to Racebox, that cost me an additional $6,832. And in there, I sold all the high pressure fuel pump, the S58 injectors. I'm back to an OEM TU pump as well as OEM injectors. And the car's making around $900 right now. And then the last category I have right here is full blown race car. So as you can probably tell, I have a titanium hood exit. That alone was just $700 in parts. That's no labor included. That's just the parts. And this whole list is no labor included. But just for the parts, that was $700 just in titanium. I did the ATS DIY Stage 2 kit as well as the Circle D high stall converter. So I built that myself, did a video on that. That video is actually doing really well, so thank you guys. And then we went with the AMSOIL Signature Series Blue Cap transmission fluid for that. It was like 2.5 gallons. And then to go full-blown race car, which we're at right now, it's been another $8,197 for that transmission and all those parts with the additional fueling and stuff like that. So needless to say, it has not been cheap. This list is telling me $42,588 just in parts, which is a mind-blowing number because that is more than I bought the car for. Now, do I regret it? Absolutely not. I've had so much fun making content with this car, driving the car, modifying the car, everything in between. I don't regret it at all. And no, that's not the actual amount of money that I've spent physically on the car because I've sold some parts for other parts. So it's all, if I had to guess, I'm probably in the 30s. But I've been keeping a spreadsheet since I bought the car, and that's what it's telling me is $42,588 has been spent on this thing, which is absolutely insane. Bought the car for around 40 and some change. Plus that, you're getting to a stock G80, and I don't think stock G80s make 900 plus horsepower. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. It's definitely a hard pill to swallow, but I think it's important for people to realize how much it actually costs to build one of these things. I have gotten some discounts on stuff. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Now, luckily, I do 99% of the labor on this car. So your list would be probably twice as expensive if you had to pay for all the labor that goes in this thing. And this isn't even a built motor yet. Like, that's another big cost that's coming up that I'm going to have to swallow the pill on, is building the motor for this thing over this winter time so I can push this car way further. I'll be doing a new turbo kit, new turbo, everything like that. It's just the itch for more and more and more. Nothing's ever like enough, I feel like, and there's constantly more content to be made. These cars are never done modifying, in my opinion. There's so much more that I actually want to do to this car. Without spoiling too much, I think that we are due for another wheel and tire setup, at least in addition to these, so I could run these whenever I'm not racing. But I definitely need a new rear and front tire setup. In order to run those, I'm going to need new brakes, if that's a hint. And then also, I feel like I've been slacking on the cosmetics of this car. It looks pretty plain. We're going to switch it up. I have a new trunk on the way. Got new mirror caps on the way. Another cost associated with this, which probably you wouldn't have to worry about, is traveling with this thing. Now, I've been pretty fortunate enough to be able to drive this thing cross country multiple times and with no issues. A lot of people trailer their cars. I don't have a trailer or a truck, so it's kind of what we're stuck with, is just driving the thing. But for TX2K this year, as well as a few other events, we will be trailering it with a buddy who's offered to help us out, and we'll be getting this thing to more events. So traveling for those events, the event cost itself, it all adds up pretty quickly. I'm pretty deep into this car. I don't have any plans on stopping. I love this thing. This car has given me so many more relationships than I could have ever imagined, and some friendships that are priceless. So no, I don't have any regrets. Again, I'm not trying to brag by telling you guys the cost of all this. It's not in my nature to like flaunt that, but I waited to make this video until after the transmission was built, just so I could get like a full price. It was like I could stop here. You could very much stop here, and it lived pretty healthy around 800 to 850, maybe 900 for a little bit. But I know that motor's coming, and I'm fully prepared for it. It doesn't matter how careful you are with it. The motor's on borrowed time right now, pushing it as hard as we are. So I'm just preparing for that financially, and I'm not really spending too much money outside of that. My budget has been pretty tight planning around building this motor, so we're gonna keep saving up for that so we can get some more content and stuff like that. I know I've promised you guys racing videos, which I need to start delivering on. We will soon. There's a huge event at the end of the month that we'll be filming for, and we'll be getting some racing content out there. But before it starts raining again, I want to challenge Cayman or Shay on YouTube, as well as Jeff or Daily Drive It, to make a similar video. I'm curious what you guys have put into it, and I think the people would also enjoy that. So if you guys are up for it, give the people what they want. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Good. So I was just curious what you're up to.
Just filming a project.
Okay. Just interested in this kind of stuff for the project.
No, I honestly just wanted the quiet space. I can leave though if you need to.
Oh no. I'm just don't know you. I'm just checking you
No,
out.
100%. Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, I'm John.
Yeah, no. Ethan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
No, I do car content and stuff. And I just wanted. Hey, this is a nice
Oh, you're
area.
actually filming your
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Stop. Yeah.
I can leave if you want.
No, absolutely not. Stay all day
Well,
if you need to.
Thank you. I'll only be here for like 30 minutes.
No, you're
I just wanted to
perfectly
get
fine.
it
Like I said, there's just so much going on out here with this construction.
100%.
I got it. All right, no problem. What kind of car is that?
It's a BMW M240i. So I'm just documenting the process of building it from stock to where it's at right now, and even further than that.
Are you you're not telling me you built it?
I built the entire thing in my garage.
You built it?
I live like 10 minutes on the road. It's
You got to be kidding me.
No. Yeah.
Cool.
But I'm just a DIY kind of guy. I don't really want to pay for shop things.
We're DIY too, yeah, so I completely understand. No, enjoy. Have a
I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Yeah, good to see you. Yep.